Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 4th of January 2022. Thanks for joining me. I just picked up this pouch. There's a deck of cards in there. I don't know which card deck it is, so I just want to surprise myself here today and see which... Oh, okay, it's the Connolly Tarot. I recognize it from the background. Let's see what these cards have to say about Tuesday and what energy you'll be working with. The Page of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. Oh, wow. Okay, so you have a choice here. So you're very teachable and you're willing to learn on this day. And there may be something about your work which isn't moving the way you'd like it to. You feel defeated, feel tired, maybe rejected or disillusioned with the whole process. Maybe you've had to take a pay cut or someone's criticized your work and you're really thinking, God, should I be doing this? Am I wasting my time here? I'm not appreciated anyway. I've done all this work and I get no recognition for it. And that then can lead you, that kind of thinking can lead you to a place where you feel imprisoned. So the Page of Swords looks very much like the Eight of Swords here. And you get to a point where you feel defeated and it's like, wow, there's not much I can do about this. I have bills to pay. There are no other jobs out there in the whole wide world, so I have to stick with this one. I'm saying it like that because that's a kind of faulty belief. There will be other jobs. It's just a matter of, I don't see any options right now. And yeah, this whole thing can make you feel like you're truly stuck and your obligations are mounting up and piling up and you have so much on your plate that you've got to do this job or these things that you don't particularly like, and you feel really disenchanted with the whole process. But the Page of Swords is willing to learn and he can take a different approach here. So I think your perspective and the way you manage your thinking is very important, because he can look at a situation like that and he can say, okay, I'm not satisfied. And I actually recognize, he's looking at both of them, right? I recognize that if I stay here, I'm going to end up trapped. I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to feel like I'm just going through the motions and I become more and more entrenched in this merry-go-round I feel I'm on, because I'm just getting paid, for example, enough to get through the month. So then next month I obviously have to go back because I need to scrape by. So it's a sense of urgency. It's a sense that you're on a path which isn't going anywhere good. And either you can feel defeated and say, okay, it is the way it is. I don't have any control over this. Or the cards are kind of giving you this warning and they're saying you can see that situation ahead of time, or you can recognize it in earnest today. And you can say, I have the power and the willingness to nip this in the bud, to do something about this situation, because I recognize I'm not happy. And I can be. I deserve to be happy. So the Pentacles cards refers to work and money and your environment and your appearance and your daily routine, like what is familiar and structured and appears in your life every day. It's all of the things that make you feel grounded and like you're in some sort of a routine. So if something is off there, you can see that. And also because swords has to do with ideas and thinking, you may be able to, first of all, recognize that you do have a tendency to be somewhat defeatist today. And also you can look at your thinking as something in its own. You know, before you think the thoughts and act upon them, you can see the thoughts for what they are first, and you can challenge them and question them and say, is this something I want to believe? Do I really have no choice? Or is there always a choice? There's always a choice. So I really feel that there's a bit of a wake-up call here for you today that allows you to see things in very different ways, the good and the bad, and you're able to make a decision based on that. Swords also is about bringing down the sword and separating the negative from the positive. The Queen and the King of Swords make decisions for themselves and the greater good. So the Page of Swords is learning how to do that. And today you can trust your assessment of what is going on. So like I said, your practical circumstances, but also I would even say relationships and things that have been said and you haven't been quite sure. Like, let's say you were out at New Year's with someone and someone said something that in the moment you thought, and now a few days later, you're like, wow, that was actually really mean. You'll be able to make a decision about how you heard something or what was said and whether that is something you're going to tolerate or not. So the Page of Swords is the youngest card in the court cards. The page is always inexperienced. He's just trying out the elements. So he's an intern at a law firm, or he's just learning how to put an ad in the paper, or he's having a conversation with his girlfriend for the first time about something serious, and he learns how to have a conversation and to express himself properly without being insensitive or insulting the other person unwittingly. So you're willing to learn. You may not have all the experience when it comes to certain things you're dealing with, and you may at times feel out of your depth. But the key thing here is the page and his ability to choose. You know, if you're an intern and you don't like the job, then you can go get an internship somewhere else, I mean, in an ideal world, until you find something that you like. So the Page of Swords may not have all the answers, but he's certainly got a lot of the freedom. So you have the freedom to alter these things. The Eight of Pentacles usually is someone who's working very hard, who isn't defeated. He's busy hammering away at these pentacles, and it's a card that says, if you're going to be productive, you'll get a fabulous outcome. So on one level, that's true today, but on another level, I'm looking at this card, not some other tarot card, and this says that even if you have done a good job, you may get a little tired of that, or you may feel like, no, I'm not being recognized, and I'm not being rewarded for it appropriately. This isn't working for me anymore. And that in itself, I mean, it's not the most comfortable thing to feel, but it's the first thing you have to realize. If something isn't working anymore, then you go through the whole grieving process, usually like, oh, I don't want to accept this, and it's making me angry. I'm going to go into denial. And, you know, sooner or later, you do say, well, I can't make it fit. And then that acceptance comes in, and then you can do something about it. So acceptance is key here, and it's something that comes to you quite quickly. You're not distracted. You're not in the middle of work. You're taking a moment to reflect. And that then, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is usually a situation where a woman is blindfolded in the middle of nowhere, and she's surrounded by 8 swords, and it seems very daunting and dangerous. She can walk away, but she's tied and blindfolded, so what's she going to do? So it is about feeling stuck. Here, it's even more deliberate. He's not in any danger, but he's locked up in a prison. He's got curtains, though, which is quite nice, and it's brick, so they're not putting him up. That's not. I don't think the living conditions in the prison are that important. But there's no sense of danger. There's just a sense of apathy, and I'm removed from everything, and everything's been put on ice. It's frozen and cold, and I'm stuck. So you can see that coming. Make changes before that happens. Don't sign up for anything you don't want to do. Don't say yes to things that you don't want to engage with, things that bore you half to tears. Open the door and see what's out there, and look at other opportunities. What other opportunities are out there for you today? I think that's the real question, because you are teachable, so that's perfect. I'm fed up and I'm teachable, so yeah, I can transition into something new, and I can see the potential outcome here, which I don't want, with me being in prison. So I'm going to avoid all of that, and I'm going to take a shortcut before it gets to this. So yeah, if you've invested 30 minutes in something and it's really not working and it's already doing your head in, then you have the answer via the cards. Do you invest another 2 hours and see if it changes, or do you focus on something else instead? Number-wise, we've got these 2 8s here. 8 is power and strength. So something kind of snaps and you're like, enough already. I don't need to torture myself. And I've said that quite a few times lately, that you don't need to torture yourself. So all these rules and regulations that you've been abiding by, and the things you have to do in life, they're much more flexible at the moment, and you're able to break free of all of those things. And then the court card counts as 1. So 1 is about taking your power back and saying, I'm responsible for the way I think, in the Page of Swords. So 8 and 8 is 16, and 1 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8, so we've got triple 8. 8 is real strength. So if it's scary, you know, if you've been in the job for 20 years and you've never worked in any other position, of course it's going to be daunting to say, I'm done, I'm going to find something else. You have the courage, the strength, and the ability to make those changes. And the discomfort is going to be much easier to deal with than continuing to slide down in a situation that you just are learning to despise. So do yourself a favor and don't do that to yourself. So I hope you have a fabulous day. If you would like a personal reading with me about your circumstances, what changes you could make, what's coming up in future, moving, relationships, money, anything at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading via the website, gregoryscott.com. Click on the book your reading button on the front page to order your reading with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.